Hello, everyone, and good morning. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, and we're about to get started for our live stream for the New York session. All right, let's see what's going on, everyone. Hey, everyone, welcome. I hope you're doing well, whether you're catching us live or on the replay. I'm glad you're here with us. Looking forward to another fantastic session with you. We have a holiday week. We have tomorrow Thanksgiving in the USA. There will be light volume. We could see big moves on light volume though, but there's light volume for the rest of the week. Just be aware of that. And I'm looking ahead to the calendar. I'm looking for Friday. We have the PMI numbers out of China, which will directly affect the Australian dollar and the rest of the market as well. All right, so what should we get started with here today? We have a lot of nice movement. The thing that I want to focus in on maybe to start is the Australian dollar, US dollar. And the reason being is because last night we heard some news that the Bank of Australia would be looking to go ahead and implement some QE. And the thing is, price reacted really well off of that. You could see this big you could see that, where was this during Asia right here? You see this big sell-off. And then since price has kind of retraced a little bit, I'm currently holding a short position on this pair and I'm exiting it right now, because it's not falling in favor and I have other trades that are really going in my way. And being that, especially with the news that hit and how price is kind of retraced backwards, there's not really such a strong signal that I want to keep holding this. It looks like there's a possibility that this is going to now hold as support. You could see the support going all the way back to here when this resistance and then held its support over here, and it seems to be holding again. I'm just going to exit this position right now, actually. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world, wherever you might be. And yeah, we'll look at everything. But the reason I wanted to start here with this one, and it's really important to understand, is that I'm not looking to go long here at all. And I might even take another short up here. If price gets towards this resistance level and this resistance level up here. But right now, I had 4 open trades. A couple of them are acting really well, and this one wasn't, so I just wanted to drop it. Let's kick it off with pound, Canadian dollar. All right. I mean, the first thing I look at, obviously, is I'm looked at our break of the trend line. We watched the price come back, resistance held, price sell off, and now what's it doing? I'm going to drop down here. I noticed that the pound is strong today. The pound is strong versus the dollar. The pound is strong versus the yen. Looks like the Canadian dollar is putting up more of a fight, but what happened here? You see that light support, right? Resistance, broke, held the support, broke, resistance, 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 broke, support. It's light support. and it kind of bounced off there right now. So what it looks like is happening, it looks like that perhaps we're going to see another test towards the upside over here. This looks like the area to get short if you're looking to play this trend reversal, possible trend reversal, and anything if we get a breakdown below here, right? We get a breakdown below here again, the trend resumes. We're going to get a trend change on the true trend right now. But right now, this looks like an area to be taking profit, just like I did on the Australian dollar, US dollar. To me, it looks like it's stalling out at support. You could see that it actually broke down here and then it didn't hold and came back up. So if you're in this trade and if you've been holding this short, I would be considering taking some profits off the table here, or at the very least locking in your stop loss to break even. Obviously, we're just getting ready to start the New York session. New York session is known for retracing moves that happened during London. Um, so whether or not this will continue up or not, I don't know. But you just tested support, and it appears to be bouncing off it right now. So you have to reconsider what you're doing here. Pound is strong today. Um, that's my view this morning on the pound Canadian dollar. All right. I want to get to the euro, US dollar, Japanese yen. We'll start with the pound, US dollar. And I mean, a couple of things to notice. First of all, we're still sideways. This is going on 4 weeks now. We're past 4 weeks. This has been almost 5 weeks now of just sideways price action. We are holding the breakout here. This is support holding. This trend line also that we had in here is holding. So we have this confluence of 3 support areas that are all holding right now. You do not want to be short this until we break below it, right? You have to break below the support to even consider a short. Until then, we are consolidating an up move, but it doesn't seem like a tradable pair to me. We're just sideways, right? You want to wait for a breakout or a breakdown. Same thing going on the pound Japanese yen. We're still sideways. It's very clear to see. I don't like to trade sideways markets. I like things that are moving one way or the other. And this is sideways. So could this be the time that we get the breakout or the breakdown? Maybe. But right now you're sideways. Stay away. US dollar, Japanese yen. We really fought this one out. It deserved this. This is a nice trade. It took a lot of work over here. Right? Let's look on the 8-hour. Right, so we're trading right near some resistance right now. Right, I'm gonna have a take profit in here. I'm gonna place it in sometime today. I don't have it in right now. I don't think we're gonna hit it. I'm probably gonna have it at 109. Yeah, right where the red line. I'm gonna have it at 109.771. That's where I'm putting my take profit. It's towards the upper end of this rising wedge. If we break here to this new level over here, around 109.50, hopefully we get another 20 pips spike up. That's where I'm gonna keep it. Whether or not we keep going up from here, I have no idea. If we get another pullback, which could absolutely happen, right? We're at resistance right now. You see it, resistance. Will she pull back into this support right here? We have 2 areas of support. There's a good chance of that. At that time of happening, we'll probably have entry criteria for another trade, and I'll be looking to take it as well. My first trade will be in profit, and if we have a nice setup, I'll look at it then and taking a second one. But right now, all I'm doing is taking a full take profit over here at 109.71, and I'm going to see how she plays out. Nice patience, Jeff. You're talking about the pound Canadian dollar, I believe. Waiting for this. We have what appears to be definitely the break of the trend line and a trend change. Got to wait for confirmation. You have this technical level here, and you also have you're waiting for your true trend at the same time. That's the safer trade, right? That's good. And then at the same time, maybe we'll prove wrong, because maybe we test up and then start making new highs, and then this trend line is invalidated, and then your patience paid off. Right now here, do you take a long, right? You have entry criteria, and you had off of this support, this long signal right here, price is trading almost at it. You have up to here for a take profit, where this resistance is of this trend line, and then you know where you're wrong. So that's also a long trade to consider. I'm good. I'm not really feeling any of the pound pairs right now. And again, I'm just focused on what's working. And this is if you're looking for the breakdown here, and you have that kind of, you're practicing that kind of patience, that's awesome. That's good. I applaud that. That's the thing to do. As well as if we do get up here and get rejected, watch over here. This could be a good short area to short if we get rejected and start resuming downwards off of the rejection of this resistance. That could be a good place to also look for a short, because your risk will be well defined. I want to check what's going on with gold this morning, because that trade also is falling well into favor. I want to see where I need to look for a take profit. It's amazing what a small position on gold could do. So I guess what I'm considering right now is, am I getting out of the trade around this support level I have around here, around 1447, 1446, 1448, 1450? Or am I gonna, I think right now I'm moving my stop to break even. I will do that today. And aside from moving my stop to break even, I'm gonna hold it and just see how price reacts around this level. Because if we do get a break, this becomes a beautiful trade that I'll be able to hold into this blue zone over here. So right now, we've got a lot of profit showing on the euro, US dollar, and US dollar, Japanese yen. I could go ahead and give this one a little room. I'm going to move my stop only to break even, and I'm going to watch what happens down here around this 1450 area, 1448 area, see how price reacts, if we get a breakthrough or not. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be doing a live stream. It is Thanksgiving. Or if I do it, it'll be for about 30 minutes. What do you guys think? Would anyone be here in the morning for 30 minutes to do a live stream? If so, I'm all about it. Otherwise, we'll just meet up again on Friday. Any thoughts on that would be well appreciated to know. That's our look at gold. All right. Euro US dollar, holding the short right now, locking in stops just at break even, watching what's happening over here. There's a chance that this support here could hold. This is pretty decent support that I have over here. I'm obviously hoping and looking for a clean break, because then this trade becomes beautiful. We have this area here to look for a take profit. So right now, nothing's really happening. I will move the stop just to go ahead and make sure this doesn't turn into a loss. It looks really healthy. There is the chance that we get rejected over here on this support, and then get another sell opportunity over here. If you want to look at that on the 4-hour, on the 8-hour, I expect on a bounce off of support, the true trend will still be below zero here in this sloping downtrend, and provide perhaps another opportunity. This could wind up even playing out into like a triangle before maybe it breaks down. So right now I have to watch it. I have to see if I'm looking to take profit here or what happens. I'm going to wait and see what happens during this session here to see in 15 minutes when US equities open, what kind of reaction we get, and to see whether or not we get some further dollar momentum here this morning in this session, and see if we break through or not. And if we don't, maybe I'll consider, just calling this a beautiful trade and taking profits on it. But for now, I'm just holding and watching. We'll see in this session what develops. We'll look at the euro Japanese yen, and I want to look at the Canadian dollar Japanese yen. All right. I mean, a lot of work has gone into this one too, and it's really just near my entry right now, I believe. I believe my entry is right around here. I believe I'm right near my entry. The trade is still valid. We're just at resistance right now. Obviously, there's pressure on the euro this morning, but the yen is also weak, and we're just trading at resistance right now. We need to see what's going to happen here until we get the breakdown. I'm keeping my stops exactly where they are, and I'm just going to wait and be patient here. I think probably the same thing has happened on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. This one's even looking a little bit healthier, but at resistance also, right? We're just right now at resistance. So not sure what's going to happen, whether or not we make this break or we reject it and get another test over here of this support and this trend line. But both those trades, we're still, getting inside the channel now a little bit. They look healthy. We're going to keep playing them out and keep pushing to see what happens. The first place to look here for a take profit area would be around 82, 90, 95. And again, see how price reacts, see if we get a push up and get a really nice, this would be an amazing trade to get towards the top of this channel. It's too soon to know what's going to happen. Right now, we're just trading well within the pattern. And a couple of you took this one yesterday. Great trade. I think it's working out a little better than the euro Japanese yen. Awesome. I'm definitely going to do 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes in the morning. If it's 30 minutes or 45, whatever it is, that's because it's perfect for me. It's great for all of you. And I still have open trades. I want to see what's going on with the market. It might be a holiday in the US, but it's not in the rest of the world. I'll definitely be here tomorrow morning at normal time for our live stream. Matt, let me see what you're talking about. Let me pull up the US dollar, Japanese yen. Wrong chart. Just pull up the weekly to see what you see here. As far as a weekly downtrend, so I'm drawing in this trend line right now, and it's coming from sorry about that. All right, so looking at the weekly, this looks even a little cleaner. Either which way. So the weekly trend line over here, if you have that drawn in, that's really coming into the same place that I have my take profit in over here at the top of this rising wedge, regardless. I probably even have, another 15 pips, but I want to get out of the trade if we get up there. So that's not really affecting my analysis. I'm focused more on this rising wedge and this resistance right here. And that puts me at the same point that you're seeing on the weekly. So that's clean. There's nothing really we need to look at there to provide any more insight that are not conflicting. There's nothing to worry about. More so right now, we're just worried about whether we get over this little hump, this little resistance where she's at right now. And again, I'm looking forward to seeing whether or not we get a little more dollar strength this morning, a little more dollar follow through. The U.S. session is notorious for not, following through. So we're going to see what happens. Jermaine, that's awesome. I hope you're able to benefit off that. Sometimes things are clear. Nothing's ever easy, but sometimes things are clear, and always the point we're taking the trades seem to be the most difficult, right? Because we're taking them at inflection points. We've seen that happen on. This is a tough one, right? I think someone just mentioned the euro Japanese yen. I'm going to look at that in 1 second. But excellent. So during Christmas week, I will not be trading at all. Probably from whatever I'm not looking at a calendar right now. But whatever the week of like the 23rd is, depending on whatever, I don't know if the 22nd was a Monday, from that Monday until like probably the 4th of January. It doesn't mean that I won't be checking in and active with you, but I'm with the family for that week. It's an important week for all of us to be together, and you'll see your P&L will benefit a lot not trading it. So I do run some automated systems though during that week. Again, those weeks, especially during Asia, you have to be very careful. As we get closer to them, I'll be walking everyone through it, what to watch out for. But during Asia or time before actually Australia even opens, you get some wild price swings. You have to be really careful. But again, as we get closer, we'll catch up on that. Matt, thanks. We have right over here. So what is this in about 25 minutes? Chicago PMI. I'm not sure what the expectations are on here. Now, whether or not the market's going to trigger off it or not, you guys do know, or those who've been following, that I definitely like to look at the calendar. I like to know what's coming up ahead of time. I don't think this is going to be a big number, right? It could be a big miss or a big meet. Either which way could always move the market. I think the market's going to be more focused over here, and we have a light weekend, but we'll see. This is the last number before the Thanksgiving holiday. All right, we'll watch it together. All right, let's see what else is developing today. If anyone is actually watching something that they believe is providing any opportunity, what's happening with the New Zealand dollar? Are we getting this breakout? We have the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, and the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. We need to take a look at both of them. All right, you're at the point where you need to work hard. So, it appears possibly that the New Zealand dollar could be breaking out against both the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. Either which way, if it is or it isn't, the way for us to play it is wait for the breakout to happen and then get back in on that test of that breakout. That's the best place to get into a trade like that. And if this does indeed provide a breakout, this could be a position trade. You have the swap going for you in both situations. And just trying to get a good look at this. All right, you don't want to chase this breakout. We don't have a break. It's very iffy. It's even hard to see on the 8-hour. We need a little bit more movement. When it's clear to us by looking at the chart that we are indeed seeing a breakout, all right, at that point, we'll know it. We'll say, hey, this is breaking out. And then we'll look to see how it's possible to get it into the trade. Right now, I'm looking at the chart and I'm being like, yeah, it looks like she might be trying to break out, but it's not very clear, right? So I'm going to wait for this to be clear. And after it's clear, we'll look to see if it's possible to get in. Raj, I do remember it, and you do need to be careful. And I guarantee taking that week off is going to be beneficial overall to you. I remember, and back then that we really didn't have any of those flash crashes, which now seem to happen more regularly. And it's probably due to the amount of algorithms and bots inside the markets, but uh, it's sometimes difficult as a trader to know when to stand aside, and that is the best week of the whole year to stand aside, for sure. All right, so we have about 20 minutes to those numbers that Matt brought up. Chicago PMI. It looks like the euro is US dollar is pushing down now, right? At the open here, getting close to the open, coming up upon this resistance on the euro US dollar, and then also at the US dollar Japanese yen. Very interested to see if we get follow through today. That would mean, I mean, the open trades that we're holding here are phenomenal, and that's why it pays to put in the work. And by work, I mean patience. And then, not getting shaken out of the trades and sticking to your plan. It's work, right? Paying off today for sure, though. I'm out of my Australian dollar, US dollar trade, and the euro Japanese yen is the one lagging behind right now. So the question is what to do with it. Do I want to stick with her? I mean, although we're clearly at resistance, and it's pretty heavy resistance, she's holding so far the triangle. I mean the channel, and I want to hold this trade and continue pushing it. Again, if it breaks down and I'm wrong, it's easy enough and I'm willing to find. But coming off of this lower end of the channel here, this potential, yeah, I wish I would have had taken the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Of the two, definitely looks cleaner and stronger. But I'm in the euro, and it's still an active trade that I'm going to keep holding. Let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Boom, 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 boom. So, I mean, the pattern that I see looking at the New Zealand dollar Swiss franc is I see clearly where this resistance right here, right? And I see the series, this rounding bottom, several months of a rounding bottom. As far as a channel, I don't see the channel. Well, let me try it and see it though. There you go. Is that more or less what you see, Jeff? Because if it is, that's a good guide to know that until it breaks down to the downside, you're not looking to get short. But that's helpful. That is helpful. And you're right. You're still testing the resistance right there. Right. And what this could also be helpful for is if we get a breakout and we're like, okay, well, that's clearly a breakout, and looking for the test, if she only comes back and tests the upper end of that channel right there, that's good. That's good to have in there. And then you said 8 hour though. I just want to see what it even looks like on the 8 hour, a little more clear. Yep. All right. Definitely gonna keep that in there. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, we've been looking at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen for a while. Let's take a look at her. So just stepping back, we see here that yeah, and comparing this, this is the sister pair is the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. And we noticed that the New Zealand dollar was actually showing a lot more strength than the Australian dollar. You want to buy where the strength is. You could see that the New Zealand dollar has been testing the top of this range, this resistance, while the Australian dollar was weaker, right? You could see the top of the range is over here, and then after it broke down this trend line, it's since has not making up. So personally, I want to go with the strength and against the weaknesses. And the Australian dollar was not putting up any type of strength. We were talking yesterday that if we were to start seeing yen strength, this would be the pair we would look to short. It would probably lead the way on the way down because it was lagging on the way up. And right now you're just caught in this zone here, this blue zone. You have a lot of resistance above you. And yeah, if you're buying down here off this, I don't see it. I have to be honest. I don't see it. This is something that we've had to just pass up and just stand aside on, waiting for something better to develop. If you were looking to play long, I'd be focused more on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, and wait for this breakout and then get back in on a retest. The Australian dollar, Japanese yen, again, having a look at it today, as we have been, this looks like we just want to stand aside right now. It doesn't look like it's giving us an edge. Let's jump back to the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. I want to keep an eye. We have about another 13 minutes to that Chicago PMI. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. Back to March 12th. Let's start on the daily here then. Thanks, Dubsy. Thank you. And thanks for bringing it up. We actually didn't even get a chance to look at it today. Definitely like to look at her every day. We just want to be really focused where the opportunities are. There's plenty of opportunities in the market all the time. We want to be playing with the strengths, right? Pairs that are moving, not sideways, pairs that are showing strength versus pairs that are showing weakness, and trading off of support and resistance levels and around patterns. I'm looking here up at March 12th right over here. This is kind of like, as you guys are familiar with on the Euro Japanese yen, where we have these double trend lines. And that's what I'm drawing in. I know you start over here, and like you said, on the 12th, but it's the lower trend line that I have in here that I actually give more weight to. And it looks like it's possibly breaking out. Now you have this upper one here where we've had the spikes too. and you had where it began over here. Just to give you a quick look at the euro, you can see the double trend line we have in here, because we had the spike down here where we started, the breach over here, and then it was respected over there. It's similar. We're seeing a similar situation on the New Zealand dollar Swiss franc. So I want to draw them both in here, and this upper one is being tested now. But I mean, it appears New Zealand dollar is breaking out today, but you have this little this channel that Jeff brought our attention to, and this other one up here that now Paul is. And until we get clear and until we say, hey, we broke out, it's on our retest over here that we would look to be getting and looking for longs. All right. So those two, for both Paul and Jeff, excellent work. Love both those lines in here now. It gives us a lot of help here now as we're getting ready to watch this, because it looks like a possible position trade is developing. Right. And by position trade, I mean, we're not looking for a swing trade here for a few days, but something that we could, potentially hold for a little while and make some, a big move on. So we'll see how that works out. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. So the big question here this morning is, are we going to get any follow through, or is she going to give back some of her gains this morning? This has already been such a good trade. Let me focus back in on the 8-hour here. Gold too was a small position, but it's wound up being a good trade. I'm happy about it. I'm sure from all the way up here, it's about 75 pips into profit, and I have all of the time in the world now to see what happens. If we get a break over here, it's going to be gold. I have to watch what happens this morning, because we're at this right coming up upon this support level. I think the US dollar Japanese yen is also trading up near a support level. All right. So again, I expect there's a good chance that we get rejected here. Come back over here. This could provide another long entry point. Alternatively, if we get the breakthrough, it becomes gravy. Yeah, I have another position here on the euro Japanese yen. She's just kind of stuck at this resistance right now. Jermaine, are you talking about the Forex Factory? I think you're asking for the name of the site. I just included the link that Matt had gone ahead and hit. This is Forex Factory. This is the calendar that I use. There are some that are actually maybe even better. FXStreets.com's calendar is mentioned. MyFXBooks calendars. They both have pop-up alerts at the time of the event. I'm not trading off of news like that. I like this one. You can see here now, as you get 5 minutes before the event, this little refresher comes up. You have to refresh it at the time of the event. It won't just change automatically unless you refresh the page. Man, that's exactly what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that this is the little nudge we need here. Things are trading strongly at the lows of the day into it. And at the same time, I'm well aware that that could be a catalyst that reverses everything. So we're just going to watch, because if it is, I have no problem taking profits down here and then waiting this out, and maybe next week or, whenever we can get short again up towards resistance. Same thing on the US dollar, Japanese yen. If we come back down and get another look down at this support down here, I'll take the long off it as we resume upwards. But we're close to breaking through this level. See what happens. Hope we break it. Jeff, I mean, how nice is that, right? That would be the best thing. That would be the best thing. Either way, it's always nice being in the position where you're managing trades. And by managing trades, that means you're holding them from a position of strength, right? Not holding a position that is going against you and you're hoping. That's not managing a trade. That's being stuck and hoping. Managing a trade is taking the trade according to plan. We got short up here because of this red line resistance up here, trading off of the resistance, price resuming downwards. This channel was drawn in later because this point wasn't here yet. It is now. Now we have this as a guide. If we get back up here, still got another 5 minutes, and the dollar has momentum. Oh, of my Bitcoin. I'm going to pull up Bitcoin and check out the weekly in a second to find out what it is that you see and you're talking about. I want to know. I'm just going to give that a second to load up. Looks like the Australian dollar is resuming downwards a little bit. I exited that, and I'm happy to have exited it. Yeah. It's just stuck sideways in between this support and this resistance. By the way, which chart from your end is easier to look at? Because I have my Bitcoin background with this like bluish tint, and then we have our like dark gray tint over here. If one of those is easier to look at, let me know. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin obviously has a lot of work to do. You see this channel over here. That's what you have, Jeff. I see it now. I don't even know where those would be starting from. I'm going to just take this one. It's actually, it could be a good guide to the upside. Breaking out of that to the upside will give you more or less a clear signal. That's tough. I use that 6500 was definitely an important level for me. It coincided. I didn't look at it at the time, but this down sloping channel. That's what you're looking at though, right, Jeff? That's right, Matt. And that's the key to trading. And anyone who has done the opposite and has taken profits quickly and held on to losers knows because you got to reverse that. But here's the thing: the hard part of that is knowing how to cut losses quickly, right? So the way to cut losses quickly is to, from the beginning, have that favorable risk to reward always in every trade, so that your stop losses to begin with are tight. And then by coupling that around resistance levels when selling and buying around support levels, you're able to define your risk very well and cut off the ones that technically break really quick. It is absolutely the key to trading. All right, those numbers must have came in, and I'm assuming they look good. Let's check it out. No, we have a slight miss there. And the market doesn't seem to care. Let's see what happens over these next 10, 15 minutes. What a sign that would be if numbers come in slightly below expectations and US dollar continues to key off it. Okay, thanks, Matt. That's obviously a good sign. All right. I mean, I know we're all looking for this break on the multiple pairs. What's gold doing off of that? Also trading near the lows of the day. I have to keep in mind, I have to watch what happens over here. I'm not checking back on it enough. Jeff, you're referring back to the Bitcoin? If so, if you're talking about gap, are you talking about the CME? This is what you're looking at right over here, I believe. What was the level of that? The high of that was 64.30. Does that satisfy it? Or like you're saying, are we coming back down to test that level again? Right? I mean, if that's the gap you're talking about right over here, wasn't it also satisfied right here on the next bar, the next week? All right, we have to watch what happens, okay? We're at a support level. We have to see how price reacts around it, whether or not she's going to make it through, or whether or not she's going to stall out and begin bouncing. So this is going to become the story of the day. This is the most important, managing these open positions going into the holiday. At the resistance up here as well, same exact thing. We need to watch what happens now, whether or not the dollar makes another push. What's going on in the DXY? There you go, right at resistance. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Yeah, what's the ticker for IG? Could you look at that through TradingView, or do you need their platform? It's the second time you brought it up. I paid heed now. All right, we're just at a moment here where it pays. That patience needs to be exercised. It's just still stuck. I have the feeling we break through. I have the feeling we're going to break through sometime within the next hour and 15 minutes. We'll see. Right? Could be wrong, obviously. Delbzy, that's exactly where I'm at. And what a good position to be in, right? What a good position to be in. If we're not, we'll see what happens, how we want to play this. We have this resistance right above this area right here. But again, if we get rejected here, I like, regardless, taking my profits, waiting this out. We could have this resistance along with this resistance sometime later. And maybe our life will just be easy. Maybe we'll just get the clean break going into the holiday. Let's see what happens. Yeah. It's looking like it's making that push. I mean, if it's getting there. It's too close to call yet. If we get that wick down all of a sudden, it would look similar to this price bar over here. She looks like she wants to go, though. I think everyone feels it. Looks like she's getting clearing over here. All right. It's really stretched. The US dollar, Japanese yen here. We're really stretched. I think that 40 pips from here to that take profit is a little bit of a ways right now. We'll see. Yep. And the DXY is so heavily weighted towards the euro, US dollar, towards the euro here. It's weighted, I think it's like 42% of this dollar index. So let me see. I have my stop loss down at 108.18. So I had about a 50 pip stop loss. And as far as a take profit, I'm looking at 70, 100 pips. It's a 2-to-1. A 2-to-1 on the US dollar, Japanese yen. Although, I mean, obviously right now, I don't need to do it in this moment, but my stop loss gets moved to break even. And more often than not, my stop losses do get moved to break even. So my initial risk was 2-to-1. $109.06. All right, by the time if we get down there to test that, you're looking at a support level. It would be also coinciding with the test of the lower trend, this lower channel support down here, right? 109.06. That's where I would put it. That would put us, I would say the earliest would be sometime the end of next week, where we would be looking to be testing down there if we get down there. I think we have to get through this level first. Yes, Jeff, it was 1%. Also on the euro US dollar, this was also a 1%. It's too soon to tell anything that's going on, whether or not this resistance is going to hold or break. We're going to be fighting through, definitely, it looks like, for the next hour and 15 minutes or so. And hopefully by then we have a better indication. Right now, we're just holding steady. Yes, absolutely. Again, the DXY is extraordinarily heavily weighted. This is a dollar currency index versus several pairs, for example, including the pound, the Australian dollar, but it is heavily weighted towards the euro. I believe it's 42%. It might be 47. I'm not exactly sure, but it's heavily weighted towards the euro, which is why you're seeing that inverse correlation. Thanks, BG. 57% towards the euro. There should be a bunch of medium impact events happening right now. I'm not sure if that would have any effect. I don't pay attention to it, but we'll see right now what the market's doing with it. See if it uses it as a catalyst to go ahead and resume this dollar strength down, or whether or not we might be putting in some type of reversal around the support. This is a support level that we're looking at. We are looking at this resistance level on the US dollar, Japanese yen that we're trading up around right now. And they're both important inflection points. We need to watch what happens here to see whether or not it's time to exit our trades, or whether or not we're holding them and we're going to get some momentum to break through the support level or not. It's too soon to call it. $9,906. Okay, so you're looking at exactly where we have this support level also being weekly S1 then. As long as we have it already marked in here. The narrow, I don't have Instagram. I was on, man, I guess it must have been like 2003 or 2000. Nah, it was 2005. I got onto Facebook. I deleted my Facebook for privacy reasons after watching Oliver Stone's Snowden. And yeah, I don't have Instagram. I also have 5 kids. I that stuff could be a distraction. I try to spend as much time as possible with them. I do like Twitter. I think you can find some good information on Twitter sometimes. I heard that the average person checks Instagram 150 times a day. There you go. I just threw in the Twitter into the chat right there. Yeah, it's I think God bless my wife, and again, the best thing you could do as a parent is just quote unquote waste as much time possible with your kids, and it's a joy, but it's not easy. They all need attention. They're all fighting for attention. 4 girls, nevertheless. four girls. There you go. She looks like she's just coming down and testing this right now. This looks like a little bit of support. She's holding right now. Not really, right? Not really, but that's a good guide for a breakdown to know. And the only reason I'm drawing this in here, this might be a good little indicator to use to know if it's time to take profit. All right, if I get above in here, call it 1015, right around there. That will be the spot to look at to see whether or not I'm going to go ahead and exit the trade and take profit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have a couple of options. Nothing's black and white here. So, I mean, the thing to do now as you're testing the support level, this was our first target to look at. It wasn't on the US dollar, Japanese yen. This is a clean, I'm taking profit. I'm not watching what happens up there if we get up there. Over here on the Euro US dollar, this was, when we get to the support, we're going to reassess what's going on to see whether or not we're able to get a breakthrough and look down here for the take profit area, or if things develop further. Right now, the thing to do is move your stop to break even. But you could see right now is just looking at, and again, this is not a science whatsoever, but I was just looking for a little help at what area that I would want to, take profits off the table here. And I see over here, this is support, broken, resistance. It's weak, but there's a line here, and that line coinciding with this line right here that I'm drawing in. Again, this is really not a science. This is very subjective. But if we break up here, if we get up here, to me, breaking these two small areas of resistance that I have in here, that I'm probably going to take profit, all my profits off the table. And the reason I'll do that is because I'll be happy to wait and see if I get another opportunity to get short off of this resistance up here. But until we break up there, I got about 15 pips to the upside. I'm going to give it that room to see if we could break through. Breaks are usually clean and strong. But again, I think the market's going to reveal its hand a little more over the next hour. Hanero, there's a link in the chat right above, right? Did it not go through? Yeah. And I'll look up 3 messages. I put it in my Twitter handle. It's right here. Raj, I don't know. Let's take a look at it right now. Yep. So very early. I think this was probably in the first 5 minutes. We were taking a look at this. Jeff is watching this closely. Let's take a look at it right now. So what we noticed this morning on the pound Canadian dollar is we noticed that she was stalling out right off the support right here. You could see resistance, murky, resistance, broken, support. And right here again, the support is holding. She was bouncing off of here. So anyone that went ahead and was really aggressive, taking this counter trend trade up here, this was the place to look at taking profits. If we break below this support here to the downside, which probably will coincide with the true trend crossing to the negative side, that looks like the place to short, to really get short again. But right here, right now, as price is stalling out, pound is pretty strong today relative to other currencies. You know, this is a counter trend trade. It is off of this broken support, which tested as resistance. But this support level this morning looks like it's holding. And it's a good idea to either set your stop loss to break even, or maybe even better, take profits right there. And then you get back in if price starts resuming downwards and breaks that level. If you break that level, you look like you have a trend change, and you probably get, at least the first look, probably right around there, if not even lower down to here. Yeah, we'll look at things 100 times. It's all good. I mean, it's important for all of us. It's really important. But again, what I see, if you're short off this resistance over here, it's a counter trend trade. She is stalling at the support. It's holding. Safer to take some off the table here and then just wait. And if we resume downwards, it looks like it could be possibly a strong sell. But the pound it's so crazy lately, right? And the pound it's tough trade. It's a tough trade. So the question here on the euro is also, right, where's the stronger resistance? This is too tight. This area right around 1.1015. And is this a safer, stronger resistance up here? Yeah, it is. I'm going to exit the trade though if we get up here though. I will exit it. Just take profit off there going into tomorrow. You know, hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully the next 45 minutes bring us a resumption and actually a breakdown, but we'll see. Raj, probably check. You could get them on the same time zone. You could change your time zone on TradingView by clicking down here. This is in the way. And make sure it matches up to the Alanda feed and then see if they are matching. That's what I think is going to be the solution. Namdor, good. Thank you for shedding some light on that. And man, it seems like the politics out of Britain is so fickle lately that it's tough, right? It's like the wind changing back and forth, and that's why I think we're seeing so much indecision, so much sideways action. Whether you're looking at the, let me go to a higher time frame there. Whether you're looking at the pound, US dollar, the sideways action, or the pound Japanese yen, the sideways action. But that all being said, this consolidation is going to lead to a breakout. And man, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. So we can't sleep on that. Hopefully it doesn't happen towards the end of this week. It's going to be a quiet week. Things have a tendency sometimes to catch a lot of people off guard, but we'll keep watching. That's why we're going to check into tomorrow, regardless of the holiday. At least spend a half hour, 45 minutes, just get a feel, an understanding of what's going on, and the breakout's coming sooner or later. Yeah, just check that out and see if that's what does it. Please let us know. Let's first check out the US dollar, Swiss franc. And you got a lot of resistance up at that big number also. Again, just stepping back on the US dollar, Swiss franc, I just see this big consolidation range. And so automatically when I just view it, I'm kind of like, I want to step away from it. It goes back really far, this whole area it's in. But you're at a nice point here, huh? If we clear this blue zone a little above the whole number is definitely, the top, towards the top of this resistance zone. But you could see these long wicks here where we've broken up above it and then it hasn't held. So you have to wait for clearance and then resumption. We'll see. I don't know what the dollar's doing here. None of us do, obviously, but is the dollar getting ready to test back up, back towards 99 and above, 99.50, or higher? It could be. But it doesn't seem clear to me on the US dollar, Swiss franc. Definitely at a bit, that whole number is an inflection point. You saw all of the resistance overhead. I actually have it marked here as yellow, and that's just like caution, stay away. That's an important date though, then December 12th. Is there a possibility that what's happening on December 12th? That's when, so what's actually going on there? I'll look into that later when we're off the live stream. But is it possible we just get for another few weeks just sideways consolidation on the pound pairs until we get the result of that election? Or will it be known which way the vote's going to go a little ahead of time, and then do you get the breakout? Could just watch this technically and be able to trade it that way, not worried about the news, right? We get a breakdown here, then it's time to get short. This trend line will be our first take profit. We're just stuck at resistance and support levels all over the place. Yeah, that explains that sideways no man zones price action we're seeing then on those pound pairs. All right, so focus where things are moving, focus where they're trending, focus on where it's clearer. Speaking of, how's the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen looking? It's looking good, right? Thought I had a trend line drawn in there. I think it was Myanmar who took this off of that trend line break, bouncing off that support. It's looking good. It's definitely looking a little more solid than the euro Japanese yen. Same pattern, same channel, which looks to me like to be a bear flag, right? So whether or not we continue up out of this right now, got some nice resistance overhead here. Right now she's holding. It's quiet right now. Again, we're watching to see if this is the support is possibly going to hold. I will be going into the holiday if we break that level. If we break above 1.1015, I will clear the trade, take my profits, be happy. But of course, until then, I'm hoping we resume downwards and take out those levels today. All right, we're pushing for these breakouts and breakdowns, and excellent insight. Appreciate that very much. Raj, that's could you please send me could you please send that to my email? I would love to take a look at that. So I could see exactly what you're seeing since you already have it pulled up. So I know that probably on MetaTrader 4, you're seeing the pre-market bar on Sunday. And I don't know whether or not you're seeing that on TradingView. Anyway, I'll take a look, and I would love to take a look and see if I could see or spot what's going on, what's causing that. And the other thing to note is no matter what broker you're using, what data feed, always trade off your charts. So don't look at two different charts with conflicting data and signals. Pick one of the two, either MetaTrader 4 or TradingView, and trade off it. And if you're looking at TradingView and you're trading off of TradingView, you could still place your orders on MetaTrader 4, but you take all the signals off of TradingView, or vice versa. If you're just joining us now, please go ahead, and if you have any questions, anything you would like to take a look at, please let us know. We'll be happy to take a look. We have a lot of downtime right now. We're just kind of waiting. We have about another 30 minutes until the London close. Things could pick up definitely during these next 30 minutes. I'm personally just managing a couple of open positions. One flat euro Japanese yen, and the other two into profit, and just finding out what the next move is. Yeah, I'll be looking for it. Yeah, Twitter's better. Go ahead and send them to Twitter, please. And thanks, Raj. Right, right. So funny, Dre, to see me on the 4 hour. So here's what I just did right now. I'm obviously in this trade off of the daily, off of the 8 hour, and we're up against this support level here, which so far this morning looks like it's holding as support and price is bouncing off of. So I'm looking at where do I want to exit the trade? Okay, so I actually went down and I was looking at first the 30-minute, and on the 30-minute time frame, you can see I drew in this trend line over here. Okay, and then I looked at it just on the 2 hour, and then I was on the 4 hour. But here, actually, you could see it well on the 30-minute. I have this trend line I drew in here, and then I drew in over this support, resistance, resistance. It's not clear, but it's there. So I have double lines right here. I have this resistance and this resistance here. If price takes out this and trades above this area here, this, call it 1.1015, I'm going to exit this trade and take my profits. That's why I drew it in here. That's why I was just looking at it, viewing it on the 4 hour. This is what I'm looking at, where to take profit on this trade if this support holds. And that's the level I'm looking at. And I am looking to take profit on the trade. I have my, I didn't move my stop yet to break even. Although now that we're at support, that would be the next step. But at the same time, if we do break above that area, I'm happy to take full profits off the table. If I get another opportunity some point later to short it off of this trend line, I will do that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to take profits if this support line holds here. It might be a little premature, but I'm happy to do it. So I got about another 10 pips up to the upside of room for it to go ahead and breathe. And otherwise, I'll take profits on that trade. Nandor, I also do feel like there's a good chance it's going to break down. It is, the support is, and ever since that Chicago PMI came in, right? Matt brought that up. Prices, this support has held. It has a little room for me though, and again, I'm willing to call this a beautiful trade, take my profits if price trades up a little bit higher, and if not, we'll see how it goes. And truly, it is a slow day. We do have a big holiday in the U.S. tomorrow. We're in the New York session. A lot of traders today, definitely, probably since this morning, are looking to tie up their books, have their positions set, as we do. We're not looking to take any new positions here, just managing some open ones, waiting to see what happens. But why I was hanging out on the 4-hour, by the way, this is kind of just a mental note that I'm watching here to see what happens. I'm not going to do anything for the next 30 minutes unless price, all of a sudden starts teeing off. I'll exit. But as far as moving my stop physically, I'm going to wait about another 30 minutes to do that. And again, my instinct is still this has enough room. We could start testing down here towards the low again. I hope we do. It's too soon to tell, but I'm ready to exit if need be. So hanging out here on the 4 hours, just like a reminder. Speaking of a slow Canadian dollar, it seems like a bunch of us are really hoping for a continued move on the Euro-US dollar to the downside. And I know I'm being super cautious by exiting here, right? Definitely up here is all the way up here is a lot safer. But I don't want to give back so much gains. Personally, I want to book those profits if we break this trend line. And then the resistance I have up here. You could just see that right now price, right? We're coming up into that resistance. Again, that's why I'm exiting up here. It just seems to me that momentum has changed. Would love to see this resume downwards because there's a lot of potential to the downside if we get the break. This trade winds up being a nice solid trade and has the possibility to turn into a pretty darn good trade. But right now that support is holding, and I'm assuming it's going to hold right now. I'm hoping it doesn't, but I'm assuming it's going to hold. But my instinct also is that we retrace back and roll over. DJJ, and I don't remember. I forgot the date of Canadian Thanksgiving, but it's definitely not tomorrow. Oh, that's what's going on with gold. Sometimes I'm not changing anything here on gold. My stop loss is at break even. I'm waiting to see what happens down here a little lower. And what happens though if we get above yesterday's high? Because I have that marked as a small resistance level. Let's look down on the 8-hour. Yeah, I'm gonna lock in my stop to just above here. So I'm gonna 1465. So the thing about gold, and this is largely a dollar thing right now. I think the Fed is on hold, so that's not supportive of gold in this moment. Although longer term, I think that this bull market that it's entered is still gonna have legs to it. Long term, this seems to me to be right around 1400, 1430 seems to be a good buy zone. It's possible that we get down all the way down to 1385 as well. And that seems to me to be a really good long-term buy, because although the Fed is on pause right now, they're going to be lowering rates again, probably before they tighten them, I expect. And I think we're going to see some more prolonged moves in gold. But right now, I'm just looking, playing off this resistance right here. I will tighten my stop up to 1465. But we get this little dollar resumption, it's going to play out in gold too. We're gonna see that area. You're seeing that buying in around 1455 taken out, I think. Yep. Good insight. Thanks, DJ. Guys, I'm pausing here for a quick 5 minutes. Yeah, awesome. So I'm going to look at that right now, the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, because we've been really focused on a breakout on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, and the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. So we're just gonna focus in on all three of those right now. Let me first look at the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, which I really even, where is she? I don't even have her on my list. All right. I mean, the first thing I'm sorry, I thought I was on the daily. I want to look at her from the daily first. All right. We have a clean chart here. I guess I have that resistance drawn in, but I want to look at all three at the same time with like an open mind and not trying to take out these preconceived notions that, you know, there's a chance that the dollar extends its move here. Take everything out. All right. Obviously, it looks very similar that we could be bottoming out here on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, as we're seeing on the US dollar, Swiss franc, and on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. And thanks for bearing with me one moment to get these all pulled up. All right, we're going to do this together. I want everyone's opinion here. All right, we're looking at the three on the daily. This is the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. This is the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And this is the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. All right, which of these seems to be offering the best possibility? They all are very similar. This starts in September. Yeah, all of September look to be putting in a bottom. We're seeing on all three of them these lower highs, and we're seeing all three of them trading at resistance over here. So the question is the New Zealand dollar putting in a bottom versus all of these currencies? And if it is, what's the best way to play that? I have a little bit of a bias, and I don't expect we're going to see a weak dollar anytime during the next year, unless we get closer to the elections. And like, for example, let's say like an Elizabeth Warren was going to win the election, then we might see a weak dollar start being priced in by the market rapidly, because we're going to see a lot of government spending and the deficits really increasing. And that's going to definitely realize itself in the dollar. But until then, I see a strong dollar. So I kind of don't want to like, and again, if anyone has an opposing viewpoint, I'm open and I want to know. If I'm playing the long New Zealand dollar, I prefer it versus the Japanese yen or the Swiss franc. And also because this looks like a position trade to me if we get a breakout here where we have some nice upside and you're collecting the swamp on these two pairs where you're losing here on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So I guess I do see a breakout occurring on the New Zealand dollar. but I do like it better on the Japanese yen or the Swiss franc. And those are the two that we're watching for a clean breakout. And it looks like it's happening, right? But we want to, yep, it broke out. And then we want to see a test back of that support, that broken resistance, and look to get in on the resumption there. Yeah, I see the same pattern occurring on the US dollar, but I wouldn't take it there. I'm looking for a position on the other pairs. Six 64402. Do you see though why I like it better on the Japanese yen or Swiss franc? 6402. 64178. I mean, I also, this is for a few weeks in a pretty tight range. We haven't got the breakout yet. I don't like entering here because you're pretty congested. You have this resistance right above you. So like if you're entering before you break this resistance, you're just kind of you want to be selling against resistance of anything, but you're in this uptrend over here. You're making this series of lower highs, of higher lows. And until you get a break of that trend, you're not looking to short it. If you get a break of that trend line, you'd be looking to come in here and get short. But until then, you're actually in this triangle pattern that's developing, and there's no trade here until you get the breakout to the upside. And then if you want to play the retest of support and resumption upwards, that's a tradable event. Again, you'd probably want to look elsewhere to take that because it's happening on another two pairs. But I'd wait for a breakdown to play the short. But in here, there's no trade for me to see. Yep, and she's getting close. I mean, it's hard not to impose your notions on the market. It seems to me like if we do get the Japanese yen, it seems like if we get any type of ceasefire in the trade deal between the U.S. and China, which is like phase one is kind of like a ceasefire. There's no further escalations going on with tariffs, right? The December tariff will be off the table. We would see definitely that translated in the yen, meaning we would see a weaker yen. Things could reverse in a second there, and then we're going to see that breakdown on definitely yen strength take across the board. We'll see a breakout on the euro Japanese yen. We'll see a breakdown out of the rising wedge of the US dollar Japanese yen. We'll see a breakdown out of the channel on the Canadian dollar Japanese yen. But if that works out, we're going to see yen weakness, which also, of course, that translates into the Swiss franc, right? Those are both safe haven currencies. To be honest, because and this looks like a position trade that I would like to be involved in if we get the breakouts here on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, and Swiss franc. I think I would divide that trade into two and take a half size position on both, only because you never know really which one is going to work out better. Instead of spreading it out there a little bit, I like diversifying in that type of situation. You never know which one's going to lead the way, or they both might in this case. So no, I think so. You're looking at like a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder. or right shoulder over there. I think it's more of a triangle. Not that you don't, I mean, either way, you have the same neckline. You have the same neckline if you wanted to call that a head and shoulders as you do as the triangle. Really? Matt's saying we got a little break on the US. Nice. That's a little gift going into the holiday. Are we also going to get the break down on the euro? I mean, although it looks like we're clearing this resistance here, we still have the past behavior of those spikes to watch out for. Never in the clear. Nevertheless, looking good. That was right after that spike came out, right at or after the London close. And let's see now if we get this dollar resumption back towards the downside. It would be a big gift. We also saw a spike. That must have been yen weakness. We're seeing that also on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. And we're seeing that also on the euro, Japanese yen, them trading towards their day's highs as well now. So that's good stuff. So I'm going to call that right now probably more yen weakness than dollar strength. Yeah, I mean, so the only thing really to say there, then that's really important, going back to the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, is you want to wait for the pattern to play out, and you want to get in at the point that the market's moving. It's just, it hasn't played out yet, right? You have resistance right above. You're closer to the resistance above that you're trying to break out. You don't want to take a position into a buy position into resistance, right? So just wait for that. Just show a little more. You see the pattern developing. You're on top of it. Just wait for it to play out and then get involved. And again, same thing with breakouts. It's always safe for playing the retest of the breakout. It's very rare that a breakout occurs and keeps going, right? That's usually on a really high impact news event, a rate cut decision. If, for example, going back to the pound, if you were to have like an election result, you know, some type of really high impact news event, we'll see breakouts, you know, take off without turning back. But under normal trading conditions, we normally see, you know, we had the break of this trend line right here, and then you had the retest resistance. You normally see that occur. US dollar, Canadian dollar. I didn't even notice here on the US dollar, Canadian dollar that we didn't look at that this morning, huh? It's weird, but that we were trading down closer to the support. That we had another retest of this support. And yeah, for me, this is the opportunity if you're looking to get long here. You don't have much room. You don't have much room here where you're looking at your first take profit. And the risk to reward here is very tight. It's only about a 1-to-1 unless you get a breakout above. So on the it's a 1-to-1 initial risk to reward here on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, but you're locking in your stop as soon as you get to the resistance up here, right? And you're looking to see what happens, and it could be a much bigger trade. So initially it's a 1-to-1 risk reward, but that could wind up being, working out much greater in your favor. Long term, if we're still going to get any type of selling off this top resistance, it's quite possible. You have to be on the lookout for that. Is there any help you could draw in? Could we get a trend line in over here? Is that in play? I think so. I mean, I was looking at this trend line here, the test, but actually this is also a helpful guide. The closer we get to this resistance above here, this blue line, top blue line I have over here, and a break of the trend line, that is a counter trend trade that I would look for to the short side. But right now, the play here, if you're taking it, is definitely to the upside. I don't know what our low today was. Back down around 92. Let's see if we get another look at it. Everything looks to be going well. It's just really important to be aware of the possible scenarios that could unfold. Obviously, since 9:45 Eastern time, we were looking at what would happen around the London close to see if we would get any resumption downwards. It appears that's what's happening now. At the same time here, especially on the euro, I was looking where I'm wrong and where I need to get out. Hopefully going into tomorrow, we get a gift and we break down past the support here. At least now we're showing signs that might be unfolding. So we'll see what happens. I'm assuming gold is coming off. Not really moving too much. Someone mentioned right around this area, they've seen buying coming in. I wonder if there's another trend line going back there. I don't really see it. I see more of that, actually. It's too much for me, though. I'm focused here at this support right here. I want to see if I could get a break over there. At this, if we do come down and test right around this area, a little below 1450, between 1446 and 1450, that's where I'm looking to see if I take profit or if we break through. If we break that area, then I have a beautiful trade on my hands. We're back to New Zealand dollar, US dollar on the daily for the inverse. Let's take a look. Just Jordan. All right, so if you're looking at it and make sure I'm on the same page as you. Are you looking at left shoulder, head, possibly right shoulder? And if you are, same thing though, right? Where would the neckline be? Where would the neckline be if that was a head and shoulders? Because it doesn't look like a head and shoulders to me. But if you're playing it head and shoulders, I mean, is the neckline like that then? Right? If this is the shoulder, the head, and the other shoulder, this is a sloping downward neckline like that, even a little lower. And then the break of the neckline will be all the way down here. I prefer keying off this trend line over here. Do you see that? I like that your eyes are focused and looking, perceiving of that, looking for the shoulders and the head, and for a head. It doesn't look like a head and shoulders to me. It definitely looks like a triangle. And those are the two areas that you should be keying off of. This is obviously a little higher. You should be keying off of up here, the resistance above here, where we have that red line, and this trend line down here. A break above sends you long out of the pattern. A break below sends you short. Right now you're waiting. Looks like, I know Miyama was really convinced we were going to see a retest of the lows here, a retracement. Looks like we're getting that. We'll see how our price reacts again off that support. We want to know if we're able to blow through it, if we make a lower high and bounce again. We need to watch what's happening around these critical points. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're hoping not only for that test, we're hoping for a break, right? We want to go into tomorrow in the gravy. Same thing on gold. Gold, US dollar, Euro, Japanese yen is just kind of still sitting down here at this resistance. But we're seeing a pretty weak yen. But it's nice seeing a lot of work over the past week paying off. And you could see, I mean, it's clear to see by picking your setups, by really waiting and picking your setups, taking them off of high probability setups, support and resistance around our chart patterns, taking fewer trades, but better ones, being more selective, it puts you on the right side. It really pays off. So I'm glad to have that insight, which is really important, especially, in anything surrounding the British pound. Knowing that it's December 12th is really the critical point of the elections. Nevertheless, we're going to watch what unfolds technically. All right. Uh, I'm always aware of fundamentals, but as a technician, I believe that prices price everything in, and we're going to see what happens. Even though we're not looking to actively trade here right now, and to see if we do get any breakouts or breakdowns ahead of time, if they become tradable events for us. But we are sideways. I think this is 3 weeks now, 3 weeks yesterday that we've been working together, live streaming every day. I'm grateful for all of you. That's for sure. I like the like-minded people that we are attracting and developing. And I also like how this is growing a little bit now. We're able to start working together a little bit more. And that's all. I'm not signing off here. I want to see what develops, but I just wanted to say thank you. I'm going to go ahead and I don't have that take profit in. I want to go ahead and add that in right now though. At 109.71 is going to be my take profit. Hopefully I'm undershooting a little bit, right? I don't want to, would probably get higher than 109.883. But I want to make sure that I catch a take profit there. Hey, Matt, I thank you. I appreciate that. And, I appreciate the insight that you're able to add, and that's what it's all about. So this is simply all about us building each other up and then being able to work together. It's nice. I am considering what to do here on the Euro Japanese yen. I'm sticking with it right now still though. Hopefully we might even get this trend change. We could pick up. It's been tough. It's been tough. Been holding this for probably about 5 days. Again, I prefer sticking with the trades that are moving. I did get out of my Australian dollar US dollar trade. Hopefully it does break down to that support, and I hope it does. But nevertheless, sticking with the ones that are in favor makes much more sense for me. Let's see what she looks down on a lower time frame. We have to watch whether or not we are able to continue the momentum, make the break, or if we're just testing again the support and put it in a higher low. Just really quick, tomorrow is Thanksgiving in the US. We are going to get together, live stream, 9 o'clock Eastern time, for at least a half hour, 45 minutes. And then, and that's it, just to touch base and check in with the markets. No. No. Is that what you see? Hold on. I mean, I see the points connecting here and here, right? Fuzzy there. Nice. No, I mean, it's there, right? But Matt, it is there. I see what you're saying. I only took it off because I don't want to clutter my charts too much, right? Because there are a million different trend lines you could draw in, and I want to be aware of what's going on. At the same thing, I want to be aware of what's going on right before me, right? And so here we start on the daily, and on the daily, I know that I'm down here inside this channel, this probably bear flag, with my nearest support down here, right? And I have resistance up here. And that's what I'm focused on. And I'm focused here on this channel. And I see it. I see what you're saying. It's not something that I'm going to be focused on, and maybe that's what causing it. We did see on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, we did see it was this trend line. Where is the trend line? Nope, I don't know what I'm talking about. I could have sworn that it was Myanmar who took this. And maybe it's just this. I took that entry yesterday off of that trend line break. But again, you could draw trend lines everywhere. I focus on the bigger picture and the most prominent, important levels. All right, you can see here, we have this current trend line we're in. We have this big resistance we traded off of. And I have this support here that we've been focused on this morning, and the one below it. Gabriel, US dollar, Canadian dollar, I believe is neither long or short. Let's take a look at it. All right. So, well, we have a long bias here. Okay. There's definitely to the long side on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm going to just bear with me here. I'm going to cover everything real quick. It's, we're in a downtrend overall, but you can see this trend line over here, which broke out over here and didn't hold, and then has since been resistance. Broke here, didn't hold, resistance, and now broke out again. So we have a long bias, and the past 3 weeks, ever since the Bank of Canada met over here and said that they're going to be actually on hold, we've seen the Canadian dollar, the US dollar, making some nice gains. All right. So where are we right now? Well, we're in this blue area, this blue congestion zone. We don't want to trade things that are sideways. We want to trade things that are moving as they give us more of an edge. Okay. You could see here though that what looks to be happening is that possibly I need to make a couple of more notes, one other trend line in here, but we have the breakout of this trend line here, and it's so far held as support. So you have this upside bias. If we drop down to the 8-hour and I go ahead and add in just one more trend line for you. All right. You can see that not only did the breakout occur, the test was successful, and now we're testing this trend line right here. So you could look for a buy right here. You know you're wrong, pretty close to entry, right around there. And as you get to this resistance right over here, right around this area, you need to go ahead and move your stop loss to break even right away, because the risk reward going into the trade is poor. It's 1-to-1. And then with your stop loss at break even, you have the opportunity that perhaps we get a breakout, right? And that would become a good trade. But it's not really clear what's going on here. We have another channel right here. There's not much room. The risk reward is not really there for you. I don't see the opportunity here. Again, the entry is now. If you're taking it, you're also taking here the true trend positive. The entry CCI was pulled back into the support, but you have resistance overhead pretty close. All right. Yeah, I know. Again, I wish I was in the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen over my euro, Japanese yen. And this trade looks good so far, and we might be getting the trend change right here as if we do break this resistance area, and we are at resistance right now. It'll coincide with that trend change. Again, we're at resistance right here. Obviously, my least favorite trade right now that I'm in. What is happening? I have to keep watching this to see what happens on this other retest here of the support. And again, I'm just actually going to go ahead. I'm going to add I'm going to add my stop loss, move it down to 1.1016. We had a second test of the support now. If we trade back up here, I'm happy to get out of the trade. I'm going to just move my stop loss in and lock in some profits. And on gold too, I just want to go ahead and lock in my profit. I guess at 14.5850. Paul, have an awesome day. Hey, thank you. Hey, have a great day. If we don't see you tomorrow morning, enjoy the day and hope to catch up with you soon. I'm going to stick this out a little bit longer. I want to see what happens over here. You've already seen, I've now have my stops moved in. I have no problem taking profits, locking in those nice trades if that's what happens. My US dollar trade has room to roam. I'll look to add to this possibly if we get a test of this trend line over here. With the entry CCI pulled back. But right now we're just going into the holiday in a really good place, and that's awesome. And just it's nice position to be in always. Right? So, are we getting that second test over here? I have no idea. You could see here, we took another look at the support, the low of the day also. Both coincided with each other. We had this support line drawn in here before price came down there and tested it. Price did come down and test it really almost to the pip. But right now we took another look at it right now. We see what happens, right? I have my stop now at what I put it at 1.1016. 1.016. Yep. Again, this is where all the work went in. Over here is was the hardest point to trade. We traded it beautifully. It's nice to see. We'd love to see both the euro and Canadian dollar. Put some gains up in here today. Let's see what happens. Robert, I didn't even see that comment. Gravy and mashed potatoes. That's right. We want it all, especially going into Thanksgiving. We want it all. We want our mashed potatoes with gravy. We need to take out the support for that to happen, though. So let's see. I'll be happy either way, though. Again, I'll be happy if this support holds. We come back, and if we get a test of this resistance and it holds, I get back into here. I'll take another opportunity. I'll take another look at this support again. But it's nice when things just work in your favor really easily. So I'll break today before I take my my stop gets taken out, locking in that profit. That will be gravy. What's going on with oil? Miyama, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Definitely looking forward to that. It's a great day to spend with the family. Long oil here. You have to be careful if you're long oil here, and you have to be careful because it looks like we're coming up along this trend line, this channel. All right. You take profits coming up here. Is there any resistance? Yep. Hold on. That's what you're looking at. You got the entry CCI becoming oversold with the true trend in the uptrend. You have a little resistance level right overhead, and then you have definitely to respect this channel above here. This is a trade. Unless it's a good, I don't like the risk to reward on it, but it's definitely a tradable event. And the only thing, if you're long here, when price gets right around here, start testing this resistance level right around here. You want to move your stop to break even as quick as possible because the risk to reward on this trade is only 1-to-1. So you want to make it favorable as soon as possible. What are we looking at here? You're looking at the mini futures, this WTI Midland. No. DJ, give me the exact symbol of what you're looking at. I have no idea, and I want to know. I don't know. If I'm looking at oil, like at burnt crude. And what's the explanation for that? There you go. Thank you. Thank you. They're both in that rising channel, right? I have no idea why light crude would sell off, and why burnt is it would be rising. I'm not an oil guy. I take that from a bigger picture. Once it's clear we're back entering into the global slowdown, it's going to be an opportunity to get short long term. That's going to be a breakdown out of the channel for me. It's not something that I trade or it takes a lot of margin. And I don't really want to tie it up in this. I prefer making my living on the currencies, but always love, no matter what the instrument is, looking at it. A chart's a chart, right? I could trade a chart without even knowing what it is, just by looking at the chart. And I love to explore and keep the mind going by looking at all sorts of different things. Yeah, we're almost done. And at least done for getting it up and going, and then spend a lot of time adding to it. I want to spend a little bit of time on just adding right now some videos as far as really what our bread and butter is, and in an overview of what we're looking at and doing on a day-to-day basis. But the majority of the work took place yesterday. Really close. If I were to give a date of when we'll go ahead and get that up live, probably on Monday would be the latest, around that time. So we'll see what I get done today, and then as soon as we are up and running, then we could just get some feedback from everyone on what we need to add to and fine tune and really get everyone going. But it would be really just a neat place for us to organize. I spent a lot of time on that yesterday. We're almost good to go. Oh, they appreciate that, Hanera. Really, thank you so much. You know, it's a really nice day for the family. It means a lot. Thank you. And yeah, of course you join us. There's no problem about that. We'll have that up really soon. And then, from your side, whatever you could do to whatever feedback you could give in order to best organize it, what we need to focus on and elaborate on. That's awesome. But I don't have much to offer on oil, but bigger picture, it's kind of like the yen pairs. You see the yen pairs are shaping up in what looks like, uh, whether you want to call it a bear flag, an extended bear flag, or a channel. Uh, I believe once the market takes the narrative of resumption of the global slowdown is when we're going to see the breakdown of oil, and we're also going to see the breakdown of this rising wedge and these channels, right? And the question is on the New Zealand dollar, whether we have valid breakouts happening, or if we're going to get also a resumption, because here it looks like we might have a breakout, right, occurring, or we're going to resume downwards on those. But that's more big picture stuff for me. My locking in profits could also be the exact point that holds. I know it's tight. You can see that it's just at the resistance point. I keyed off in that little trend line I drew in. That could be the exact. I could get hit there, and then we could resume downwards. Sometimes I play things a little too tight. I know that. All right, I think this is a perfect place for us to wrap up the session for today. Again, I'm sincerely hope you all have a great day. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you all tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day, everyone.